To wrap up the content for this week, I'd like to talk briefly about dealing with outliers. So we have three different ways of thinking about outliers. The first way of framing them up is this idea of leverage, and that's how far a given case is on a predictor from its mean. And so cases that are very far from their respective means have a potential to have an impact on the regression equation that we wouldn't want. So this is, again, an outlier is something that's having an unfair impact on the data and not giving us a true picture of what's going on in the population. Discrepancy is the distance between the predicted and actual score. So this is like a residual. So we would look at the standardized residuals and maybe make a cutoff point of absolute value 3 and consider that to be an outlier. So discrepancy is another way of thinking about an outlier. And finally, influence. So influence is like the combination of the leverage and the discrepancy. And so this answers the question, how much influence does a given case have on the whole regression model? So these cases, if they're very, very far and they have a lot of influence, they can be pulling that regression line toward themselves. And that is not good because this maybe one case, because it's so far out, is having a disproportionate impact on the regression line. So if we deleted that outlier or used a Windsering technique, we would lessen its influence on the overall model. So the way to think about influence is the amount that the entire regression equation or these individual beta weights would change if the case was deleted. And so there are a few indices of this. We have Cook's distance index, dfit, and df betas, and these are just different ways that researchers have come up with to assess how much influence a particular case is having. So this is just for your reference, and it's just providing the broad framework. I'm going to show you in SPSS how to get these different values and then make decisions about cutoff points for individual cases that are having a disproportionate and inaccurate effect on our results.